Hello, everybody. My name is Sydney, and I'm the student recruiter for the College of Health Sciences. Today, we're going to go over how the registration process works and some next steps after you've been admitted to the nursing program. First, I'd like to start with the land acknowledgement. I'm presenting to you today from Edmonton, Alberta, which is home to the University of Alberta. The University of Alberta acknowledges that we are located on Treaty 6 territory and respects the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada, whose presence continues to enrich our vibrant community. We'll be going over how to plan your degree and where to find your program requirements, as well as some tips and tricks for building your schedule in the My Schedule Builder tool. I will go over some things about My Schedule Builder. However, we do have many tutorial videos available on how to navigate My Schedule Builder, so I suggest you check those out at uab.ca/reg101 if you are feeling lost about how to use the platform. Everything we'll be going over today is in our Registration 101 website and in our online nursing registration modules, so please don't stress about taking notes throughout the presentation. There are different class types in university. So we're just going to quickly match our class types to some different definitions so you can help picture what your classes will look like. So when a professor speaks about a various topic, this is called a lecture. A lecture is a component that all classes are going to have, where students take notes and are learning the bulk of their course content from. Class sizes will range from 30 to about 300 seats and typically get smaller in higher years. Don't panic about being in a class of 300. You'll most likely be sitting there quietly taking notes as the professor talks for an hour or an hour and a half. The hands-on component of a course is called a lab. This is where you're going to apply knowledge that you've learned during the lecture portion. Depending on the courses you're taking, this could look like nursing clinicals or anatomy and physiology labs, and so on. Labs will take up 1 to 3 hour time block and have around 20 seats depending on the course. Not all courses are going to have a lab component. Reminder that all of your clinicals will be in a 1 to 8 student to teacher ratio. The last class type that is based on discussion, project work, or shared assignments then is a seminar. Most courses don't have a seminar, but if they do, they are usually around 30 to 50 seats. How do you know if a course has one of these components? If you are browsing the course catalog, you might see 3 numbers separated by dashes beside each course, such as 3-0-3. These correspond to approved class times. In this example, 3-0-3 means that you will have 3 hours per week of lecture, 0 hours per week of seminar, and 3 hours per week of lab. When it says 3-0-0, that would mean only 3 hours of lecture per week, no seminar, no lab, and so on. When it comes to degree requirements, these are going to vary by program. The 3 main links that I recommend that you star or favorite in your web browser are uab.ca/calendar, where you will find all the requirements and course sequences for your program, our catalog, where you can browse all courses offered at the U of A, and our nursing website, where you'll find the program guides under the student services section, as well as on the Registration 101 website. Nursing courses are fairly set in stone, so having a good understanding of how your degree will be organized is very important. A bit about understanding how your degree is going to be planned. For collaborative students and bilingual students, you will have year 1 and year 2. You will take a fall term, a winter term, and a spring term. In year 3 and 4, you will only be required to do a fall and winter term. These are required, and we do recommend that students do not take any more courses than what is required per semester, as it can be pretty taxing. In your first year fall term, it is recommended that you take an English class, but English classes can be kind of difficult to get into and they fill up quickly. If you can't get into one right away, don't panic. You can always take it in one of your 2 spring semesters and instead fill one of your open options in your first term. One exciting feature of our collaborative program is the fast track option. If you would like to complete your program in 3 years instead of 4, starting in your second year, you can opt to participate in a fast track, which would mean that you would include a full spring/summer semester and study full-time, but finish your program 1 year earlier. If you're interested in this option, chat with your faculty advisor when you start in September. Here is an example of your program guide. This is going to be the program guide for the Bachelor of Science Collaborative program, and you can see that there are two separate sequences. The sequences relate solely to what sections of classes you'll be in. In this case, for fall 2024, you can see that the only difference between sequence 1 and sequence 2 is what lab you're in for Nursing 120. In this case, lab D and any D variations will be sequence 1, and any variations of lab G will be sequence 2. For the Bachelor of Science Bilingual program, this is pretty set in stone for year 1. And you can notice here that for fall, there are no sequences. Everyone will be in the same sections together. Moving on to some course tips. Your course sequence for nursing, like I said, is already pretty concretely laid out. And this is because at the end of your degree, you'll be writing the NCLEX RN exam. And the goal of the program is to ensure you meet all the requirements and have all the knowledge necessary to do so, which is very specific. We also organize our program around clinical placements, which will start in your second year. These are very important to complete on time and in the proper order so that you are progressing through the program. This will impact the flexibility of enrollment starting in your second year. While students in other programs can continue to enroll in courses all summer and change their schedule, nursing students will have a different deadline so that the program coordinator can arrange for clinical placements. A few course tips, especially when it comes to choosing electives or English courses. Do not register in a course if you do not have the prerequisite. Students without the appropriate prerequisites will be removed from the course. Make sure you read the course description before you register. Another thing is for our course open electives and English courses specifically, you can help use My Schedule Builder to create a timetable that works best for you. One feature for that is the personal time feature. As you see here on My Schedule Builder, you can drag and drop if you have a prior commitment, and it will show you schedules, if available, that don't have anything on that time. For our AP and IB students, if you achieve a final grade of 4 or higher in AP or 6 or higher in IB, you will automatically be granted transfer credit for that course. Credit will either be for a specific course or an unspecified 100 level class. This means that you have the option to not take that course in university. There is a specific list of eligible courses, and this can be found at uab.ca/AP or uab.ca/IB. If you're unsure whether you will score high enough to earn the credit, add the class to your schedule. The results of your transfer credits will not be posted to BearTracks until later in the summer. So once you know for sure you have that you have earned credit for that course, you can remove the class from your schedule and add something else. You will not be assigned a specific letter grade on your transcript for these courses, but will see that you received credit. While we encourage students to retain the transfer credit they have earned, you do have the option to decline it. More information on how to decline the credits can be found at the provided links. Some questions to ask yourself about whether or not to accept or decline your transfer credit. If you decline the credit and took the course again at the U of A, how likely are you to get an A? Or if you accept the credit and don't need to take that class, do you want to leave that slot open in your schedule to have a lighter course load or fill it with an interesting options course or even a higher level course? Accepting credits would mean that your overall degree would cost less since you wouldn't need to pay the tuition on courses you have already received credit for. But the choice is completely up to you. So by now, you are familiar with your Launchpad account, our admissions system. However, for the course registration, you're going to be using BearTracks and My Schedule Builder. BearTracks is the online portal which gives you access to almost everything involved in your university career. My Schedule Builder is our new registration software where you can search for classes, build and plan a timetable, and enroll in your courses. You can also add, drop, or swap classes in BearTracks and in My Schedule Builder, as well as check your grades, pay your tuition, and more. To get access to this, you will use your CCID and password at the link provided. In My Schedule Builder, you'll be able to draft a sample timetable, favorite this timetable, validate to make sure that there are nothing wrong with your schedule, as well as you've met all the prerequisites, and officially enroll in all of your classes. So to access My Schedule Builder, we're first going to visit BearTracks. Log into BearTracks by going to uab.ca/BearTracks and select Single Sign-On. At this point, you will enter your CCID and password. This will then bring you to the BearTracks homepage, which will look similar to what is on the slide. All the tools we'll be using can be found in the My Schedule Builder at the top. For those of you who currently have 2 offers to 2 programs and would like to swap and accept your second choice program, you can do this in BearTracks by completing the following steps. You will go to the sidebar on the left-hand side of the homepage and select Manage Classes and then Change Program. You'll choose your new program, and if you've already registered for classes, you'll drop all of your classes from your previous program and re-enroll in courses for your current program. So once we log into My Schedule Builder, you'll be able to see a select course search tool. You can search for individual classes or use the advanced search button in order to look at classes per faculty or by different name or different genre and so on. Please remember to check the course notes for each class you are trying to enroll in. The notes section will show you who specific classes are restricted to, which may be the reason you cannot enroll in the class. Example, some courses are restricted to specific years of study, program type, and if the course is required to graduate or not. You'll be able to see these course remarks in 2 places. One, on the drop-down menu under the search bar when you open the class description, and 2, in our courses on the right-hand side where you'll be able to see the class remarks as well. After finding the classes you like, make sure you have them selected to start building your draft timetable. As you can see here, we didn't have Nursing 106 selected, and it's not going to show up in our draft timetable. In this situation here, you can see at the bottom of our left-hand screen that we have 3 choices. We can save as a favorite, validate the enrollment course card, and get the schedule. I recommend saving all schedules that you like as a favorite for you to pull back afterwards. In order to validate our schedule, we will click the Get the Schedule button first. This step is to confirm the details regarding the class you are looking to register for. So you're going to add them all to your course cart, and then you're going to return back to the main page and hit Validate Enrollment Course Cart. At this point, it'll either say it was okay to add, or if you didn't meet some of the restrictions. In this case, English 102 was okay to add, but this mock student was not in nursing and therefore could not enroll in Nursing 106. Once you've validated your course and you are able to register for classes, you can go back to the Get This Schedule button and check out or enroll in all of your classes. Once you have hit the Do Actions button and you get the go ahead that this class has been added, only then are you enrolled in your class. As you see here, the top one, English 102 was added, but because we didn't meet the restrictions for Nursing 106, it was failed to add to our schedule. And then you would see a sample schedule of what you've been registered in. This would be an example of what the bilingual students could be registered in. As a Faculty of Nursing student, you will have access to an academic advisement report in BearTracks. This report is going to show what requirements have been met with courses you have successfully completed and with your courses in progress, as well as requirements that are still outstanding. This is a more advanced feature and will be beneficial for you once your transfer credit report is uploaded. Please note that currently the academic advisement report does note that Nursing 200 is a requirement, but this class is no longer offered. Please refer to your program guide and the calendar for all of the program-specific requirements. Some final reminders that if you would like a spot in residence, April 30th is our deadline to apply for a guaranteed spot, and you can do so at uab.ca/residence. June 15th is our outstanding document deadline for transfer students, whereas August 1st is the outstanding document deadline for high school students. New undergraduate orientation will be from August 31st to September 2nd, with the first classes being September 3rd. September 16th is our add drop deadline, meaning Until September 16th, you can make any changes to your schedule. Please note that if you plan on dropping any nursing-specific classes, to consult with your nursing advisor prior to doing so. As of now, registration should be open for all new U Alberta students, and you can check your enrollment dates by going to Bear Tracks and looking at the Managed Classes section. We're excited that you've taken this next step to becoming a U of A student, and we are excited that you'll be joining our community this fall. No matter where you study, you'll be part of a friendly, diverse, and extremely fun student body. If you have any further questions, please feel free to book a virtual advising session, visit our website for the self-guided module, or connect with us at nursing.recruiting@ualberta.ca. Thank you so much. Have a great day.